welcome to I Thought You Might Like. This is my next episode. Today I'm wearing a shirt that sort of blends into the background. I'm still learning. So anyways, let's get into it today. So let's see. Today I want to talk about just gonna roll this back a little bit. Today I'm going to be talking about a show that I think y'all might like, and it is the show Beef. This is a real hot take because I watched like 6 episodes with my friend last night. Shout out to Misty. I'm really glad that I got to watch it with her, and then we had a little time to ourselves because she's a very busy mom. So, anyways, yeah, let's get into it. I will again start out with just a very brief overview of the show. So the show is by the production of the show was done by A24. And I think I might be like low key kind of a simp for A24. I love almost all the stuff they've done. One of my favorite movies of all time is Everywhere Everything All at Once. And I just really love the movies that they put out. So this is a TV show that they did, and the two main actors of the show are Ali Wan and Stephen Yuen. Apologies if I'm not saying his last name correctly, but basically the show follows these two people. Stephen Yuen's character's name is Danny, and Ali Wan's character's name is Amy. And they basically get into a road rage incident that then, I guess, kind of like consumes their life. It just keeps escalating and keeps escalating. Again, I'll try my best not to do any kind of spoilery stuff. But I love spoilers, and sometimes it just kind of blurts out. So it's just a forewarning. I also just listened to NPR's Pop Culture Happy Hour, which I really recommend that podcast. It's a great podcast. And they also just recently did an episode about the TV show, and I really recommend it. So let's see what to say about the show. I really liked the show. I think potentially one could go into this and be like, oh my god, is this just two people being mad at each other and like that's it? And I suppose it is just escalations of rage. But the reason why I thought y'all might like this is because I think that it's in the hands of such capable people. The writers, whoever's doing the producing, the actors. It's in such great hands that I don't think that one can just say the show is like just about rage, because rage, like any emotions, has depths and layers. So I think that it's really interesting to see what lies beneath all of these characters' rage. And again, I haven't seen the end of the show. I've heard that it sort of takes a dip into magical realism. Um, Folks may vary on the mileage that they can take with magical realism. I tend to enjoy magical realism. But I think that, if I have ADHD also. I could just keep going and going and going, but y'all have stuff to do. So I'm going to try to really narrow down maybe one or two things I really enjoy about the show. So upon my first watching, and my hot take on it is that I really enjoyed that we could have the exploration of rage in Asian American characters. Now, I know I might not look like it, but I'm a quarter Japanese. My mom is half Japanese. And while I might not present as Asian, I was definitely raised by a lot of Asian Americans. And Hawaii has a very large Asian population. So I think that a lot of times when I've seen content or movies that are about the Asian Americans or Asians in media or popular culture, or just, the like kind of societal stuff that I grew up with, I think there's a lot of like, don't show don't show that you're angry. Hide it all in, and then it just grows inside of you and then comes out in other ways, such as a pressure on children. So I think that you can kind of see, and Pop Culture Happy Hour, where they did mention this as well, these little like microaggressions that you can see all of these characters, which again, you're also looking at classism as well, which I thought was really fascinating. You're looking at all of this stuff, and it's just like, it's just like pushing. It's like pushing inside. There's a line that Ali Wong's character Amy talks about of feeling like the ground is like right here on her, and I can just only imagine all this like internal pressure of like years and years and years of just like swallowing stuff, that then it's sort of exploding, right? And so the explosion, I think, is all funneled into the other characters. So, for example, Danny, who is Stephen Ewan's character, everything he's had to deal with in life is then directed toward Ali Wan's character, Amy. And vice versa. Everything that Ali Wan's character has had to deal with is then just directed into this Danny character who, by the end, and even by like halfway through, I think they have quite a lot in common. But if they don't really know the other person, they can put a lot of these like maybe preconceived notions about class or gender kind of like on the other person, and kind of, for lack of a better word, like take out their anger on them in all of these like escalations. I mean, the escalations are wild, and the show is not condoning violence of any kind. I think that that's also, you can tell that the writing and the acting is very good, because again, in other hands, this would just be like probably like so probably not be that amazing as it is. So yeah, I think that was sort of my favorite part of the show, was sort of just witnessing the, I don't know, like letting like this again, and not like a healthy way, but like watching this sort of just unhinged rage that's like definitely within both of these characters, I thought was was really done, because it's again like this sort of character exploration. I think also talking with my friend Misty, because we were watching the show together, I think that we kind of both agreed that like by the end of just like 6 episodes, it's a 10 episode series, but by even like just the sixth episode, we were both like, I think that if we learn anything from this show, it's that you have no idea what another human being is going through. you know, Somebody can be kind of a butt to you. You're driving in a parking lot and they cut you off, or they almost, whatever. Parking lots are really hard to drive in. And, that person might be going through a ton of stuff. And so you see that both Ali Wan and Stephen Yuen's characters are going through an awful lot in their own ways, in their own respective ways. And that there is not a lot of I don't know if empathy is the right word, but like there's a lot of moments where they could just kind of let it go, and you can actually see them trying in different moments to let it go and just not being able to. And I think by the end, me and my friend Misty were like, yeah, if we learn nothing else, it's that perhaps this can give us an appreciation that if we do feel quick to anger, we can definitely recognize and see what that emotion is telling us, but that we don't know what the other person is going through. So maybe they're not just being a butt, maybe they're being a butt. And again, that's not okay, but maybe they're being like that because of some other reason. So I think that that was probably my favorite aspects of the show. Also, just like a really quick side note, one of the other characters that's in the show is played by David 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 Cho, I think, and he plays Isaac, which is Danny, which is Stephen Yuen's character's like kind of his cousin, who's like kind of did some sketchy stuff. But I think his artwork might be used in the show. Anyways, I really liked his side character of just this like very eccentric cousin, and I thought that the art that was used in the beginning of the show, so it'll be like little intro thing, and then beef, the title of the show, and then this very interesting. I just really thought the artwork was fascinating, and almost, I think it shows that sort of disturbing element like through the art, like even before watching it. So yeah, let me know what you all think. If you have a favorite character, favorite episode, if there's an aspect that you like. Again, A24, I think because it's more of like a artsy like production place. I love the way that everything looks as well. Like just watching the show is also very visually pleasing in my opinion. So Let me know what y'all think, and thanks for listening to another episode of I Thought You Might Like.